Cody at a cafe on Pabu, just
Full armor.
Yeah,
Full armor.
Yeah, full armor.
What is up, guys? How we doing? Welcome back to another episode of The Jedi in Exile. We are back and talking about The Bad Batch.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, again. Another one?
Yeah.
We're episode 6
Yeah.
and episode 7
Ooh.
because it was a dual release week.
Yeah.
We got some familiar faces back.
We did.
That is the one line summary of these two episodes, and there's our review. We'll catch you in that. No, Ryan, talk to me.
Yeah, so straight away, obviously, Rex is back, and Senator Chuchi
Yes, indeed.
back, who we first see in Clone Wars.
Not the blue alien we want to see,
Yeah.
but the blue alien we got.
Yeah. So, first introduced in Clone Wars, we also see her. She was in Series 2 of Bad Batch, obviously fighting for clone rights, nice clone retirement homes, etc.
Pensions.
So, yeah,
A lot.
so real world Star Wars.
Yeah, you know it.
So, yeah, a familiar character for us now. And interesting again, the dynamic of the senator she's meeting was on opposite sides during the Clone Wars. So, it goes to show it's almost those senators that fought so hard for the Republic because of what it stood for would very much now are like separatists. You know, they obviously fighting against the Empire. And there's a big point that separatist senator makes, which I thought was quite interesting, in the sense of the Emperor is scared of rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
So very much, and I think this goes with a lot of people who gain power. You're afraid to lose it, and so as much as the Empire is controlling a lot of planets, obviously there's thousands of planets in the galaxy, and in this new Empire, that's a lot to be able to handle. They haven't even got the clone troopers for that, really, which is hence why they're doing the conscription for the stormtroopers. So I thought that was an interesting dynamic, that obviously they're not at the rebellion stage, but they're at the stage of like the Empire just can't seem to maintain control everywhere.
Yeah.
Can't be in all places at once. So that was an interesting dynamic there. And obviously we then get this operative, like another one of these nameless operatives is back. And something for me, which Rex's team, and I know they've done this on purpose, but the different clone armor we see. I mean, I love seeing all the different clone armor in the Battlefront 2 game. The newer Battlefront 2 game, the EA one, and just to see them all, like the different clones, like checking in, and it's just like a band of brothers kind of feeling.
That was the whole we don't necessarily need to put this scene in, but we'll put it in for the fans so that they can geek out on all the different battalions.
We're so used to seeing obviously the 501st, like Rex's battalion, and then seeing Cody. And that battalion, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but we're so used to just seeing that. And then obviously the Rex, if you can see in the video, the helmet over there, we're so used to seeing that kind of clone armor that we forget about that actually there was all different battalions, different colours, like the Coruscant Guard, you know,
and like
so much.
Every Jedi had like their own battalion essentially, and each one was customized,
which wasn't really delved into too much in Clone Wars, because obviously we had a sort of a set characters, and clearly there were set Jedi that we mostly followed, obviously the obvious ones, so we didn't really see too much of like the different clones, did we? So that was just something, again, it was just one scene and for a few seconds, but it was just cool, you know. It was like this band of brothers, you know, uniting together.
And sometimes that is all we want from these TV shows, just to be cool.
Yeah, and it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
No, I completely agree with you.
So that was cool. Something else that I felt like with the operatives, they're almost activated, aren't they? So the operative asks, like, why have I been activated? Which makes you think they're almost in like storage, and then they're awoken, turned on.
Well, this also goes back to our last review. One of our last reviews, where we talked about, we saw the operative again after one was already dead, and we were like, is it a time jump or are they a team?
Yes,
So clearly
yeah,
there
yeah.
is a group, a team of
Yeah,
these
there's a
guys.
batch of there's a batch of these clones that have been, whether they've been trained
bad
or
batch?
yeah, touche. So that's quite cool. I think that obviously there's more of a realization now that Amiga is the key, because Rex captures the operative, and I want to say like the puck that he's got, like from Mando, we see the bounty,
It's like the bounty
pucks.
pucks, yeah.
It's Amiga there. So clearly Rex at that point is like, right, she is the key. And we know as an audience now, we spoke about this before, it's quite nice as an audience knowing more about things than sometimes the characters do in the show.
Yeah,
and
like
obviously
we get the benefit, don't we, of seeing all the different characters, all the different scenes, and so we see essentially points of view spanning all parts of the story, whereas the characters only see what they're seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, and something, I mean, that obviously we know Amiga is so important because of the whole M count thing, but at the moment, none of the clones really know exactly
why
M count is key and what really it is. I mean, Rex talks about hearing rumors about speaking about M counts, and he thinks he knows, but he doesn't then open up to everybody about it. Something again that I noticed when I first saw it on the screen, when the new operative who'd been activated came, his ship really reminded me of Padme's like cruiser she has.
Yeah, the like sparkly silvery one.
Yeah,
from Attack of the Clones.
Yes, not the one she has in Revenge of the Sith with the wings, but it looked like almost like it was like a dark side Padme ship, which
like a stealthed out.
Oh yeah.
They were like, give me that, but in black.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was cool. And I think again something that really struck me was the mentality, I suppose you'd call it, of Crosshair. When the batch arrive at the base and they're speaking to Rex and the other clones, obviously Crosshair's being sort of dug out by the other clones because, you know, he was loyal to the Empire. But Crosshair seems to be the only member of the batch, I want to say, and also the only real clone who knows the lengths of what the Empire will go to.
Well, he's the one so far of all of these people that's stuck around in the Empire the longest, right?
He knows what the Empire will do and how far they'll go to achieve something. So he knows, he's the only one who knows that the Empire will be able to track the operative. And the clones are like, no, we've scanned him for trackers, etc. And Crosshair's like, the Empire's smarter than this. Like, you don't understand the resources and everything else they've got. And obviously, Crosshair is quite clever. I think I mentioned in our last review that him and Hunter, to me, seem really similar in their thought processes. And this is something... He's got a very intelligent military mind. So actually, he like I say, he's the only one that knows the lengths and the depths of what the Empire will do. And he was right, because the Empire pretty much descend en masse, and we get this other familiar character, don't we?
We do. Should I start howling now?
Yeah.
Or
yeah, we could do some more Game of Thrones references about the wolf being back, but yeah, we see Wolf, and again, his understanding. I mean, the episode ends obviously with Wolf coming in and then following it into episode 7.
So episode 6 episode 6 was infiltration.
Yes.
Episode 7, extraction.
Poetic.
Yes.
But I think, and this is where we're going to merge slightly into episode 7 now, but Wolf arrives at the end of episode 6, and it struck me how, yes, he's a clone, but he's also the leader of this mission. So he's been given a detail of, there's insurgents here. We need to, hunt them down, get them out. Yeah. But he's not told that they're clones. And so he's given like half the facts. He's really surprised that he sees clone, obviously, bodies, etc. And he's like, well,
what's going on?
These are insurgents, they're clones. So yeah, what the hell's going on? And throughout the episode, he clearly has these disagreements with the operative, who seems to go against everything. Yes. That Wolf kind of, as a good clone, kind of stands by. The operative is told, don't do this, don't do that. You're risking the asset. We're supposed to recover the asset. And And the operative is like, well, that's fine. I know what I'm doing.
And
like,
it's kind of a little bit of it kind of mirrors, I guess, the relationship or the kind of the size that we saw from the normal clones, the regs, and the Bad Batch
yeah.
in terms of
Yeah, the normal clones didn't do things. The Bad Batch were very different, weren't they? Obviously, that was their makeup.
Yeah,
that's how
and they
they've
kind
been
of
made.
did things their own way, but they got
Yeah.
the job done.
Yeah.
But I guess this kind of really reinforces that the operative is maybe part of this kind of, I'm going to use kind of special forces, operates outside of normal procedure.
He's got a license to frill.
Yes, exactly. A James Bond-esque clone.
Yeah.
If no, but I think we're starting to understand the dynamic in that arena a little bit more.
It's the lengths the operatives are willing to go to. Obviously, they're willing to risk it all to get the job done, whereas the clone regs are very much like, well, we might fail our mission, but we're not going to go to the extreme lengths to succeed.
It also, to me, has just struck me that at this point in the Empire or the Imperial army cycle, the clones were being given less responsibility and phased out. Yet Wolf is still essentially put in charge of an entire squadron who are charged with going and even though the details were withheld from him, this is high on the priority list.
Yeah,
for the
this is,
Empire.
I mean, obviously for the Emperor himself, maybe not for the Empire, but for the Emperor, this Project Necromancer, obviously that Omega is key for, is priority number one. You know, it's right up there. You think obviously the things that are going on. You've got the Death Star being built. You've got loads of different schemes coming in. Like Thrawn wants to do the TIE, his kind of TIE interceptor idea that we see in Rebels. You've got all the funds that are needed and all the resources that the Empire plows into these projects. Project Necromancer for the Emperor is number one because it's cementing his legacy, if you like, and control and power over the galaxy. So yeah, interestingly, they've put a clone in and a clone squadron in command of this.
So I wonder if that just speaks volumes to how good a soldier
the respect
Wolf was.
Yeah, the respect that Wolf has got, because you think Cody was very much respected in the clone army, and then he's gone AWOL, and that Admiral, what's his face, the one who got arrested in season 2, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the Admiral, he didn't respect the clones and didn't respect Cody. He was like, oh, he's gone AWOL. Obviously he would do. And it was that kind of attitude. So, but for her to have Wolf that respected, I think shows a lot. For him to be in charge of this mission.
Just an interesting thing. I hadn't really thought about it till now when we're kind of talking about Wolf being back properly and kind of how it the dynamic of it all. It's a really
having clear orders.
Interesting.
And I think the episode, obviously, there's a little tidbit of, again, Crosshair being, like he was in episode 6, being sort of dug out by the clones as to, are you really loyal to us? Have you brought the Empire here? And Crosshair talking about the loyalty side of things. He thought that he was doing the right thing, thought that he was being loyal.
He thought he was being a good soldier.
Yes.
Who follows orders.
Exactly. So from his point of view, he thought, obviously we know this, he thought he was doing the right thing. And that whole good soldiers follow orders. The Bad Batch didn't follow orders when they didn't go ahead, way back in episode 1, series 1.
With Kanan.
Order 66 was a directive. He chose not to follow it. So from that point, at that point, him and Crosshair were on
separate paths. Yeah.
So again, it's sort of, romantic, isn't it? It's poetic. It's all of that. I mean, the fact that Wolf doesn't know that it's clone insurgents, and they don't know that clones are being tested on, that obviously they're not trusted. They know that that's not right, that clones are being tested on. So as the episode progresses, Rex actually talks to Wolf and says...
What a scene that was, by the way.
Yeah, incredible. And obviously we know where those two end up in life. So again, you kind of know how it's all going to play out. But just the whole... Rex is like, they're testing our brothers. And Wolf is almost a bit like, well, the Empire wouldn't do that. But clearly the clones can't be told this because they know they might face a mutiny or like, they can't afford. Clearly, the Empire can't afford until stormtroopers are fully trained to have all the clones eradicated and go in AWOL, etc. So it's so cool for me, this whole storyline of like how the clones go from, or how the Empire's soldiers go from clones to stormtroopers. I think the Bad Batch has done that so well. If we're talking just in general terms, it's explained that kind of phasing out of the clones.
Well, the big thing that people always used to say was like that clone troopers were really good soldiers, really great in the war, and yet stormtroopers can't shoot the Millennium Falcon as it's like this massive
what is he doing?
starship.
He's veering lazily to the left.
And so it just kind of, this was again another one of those things that just helps to explain those, and people call them plot holes. I think plot hole is a strong term for that sort of.
When you start at episode 4, there's going to be things
Yeah,
that you.
But I do think
you have
that
to change.
ultimately, yeah, it's told a really good story, but a story that also fits really well.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, Wolf and Rex have this big scene at the end where they're talking, and Wolf lets them go, which I find a bit odd. He obviously didn't want to kill other clones, and he didn't want to kill someone like Rex, who he was obviously friends with. But their weapons have a stun function. He said to Rex, "Give yourself up. I'll make sure you get a fair trial." Now, we know that that's complete and utter horse manure. However, Wolf clearly believes that. Why didn't he just set his weapons to stun? Like, that for me, I was just a bit like, again...
So I mean, I'm going to try and validate it. I'll
try
and validate
Go
it.
on.
Maybe that was deliberate in that is to show the audience that Rex has made this point about they're experimenting, and this is Wolf going, they wouldn't do that, but maybe in his head he's gone, well, would they do that?
Yeah.
And and so there's doubts, and he's sowing that, like Rex is sowing the seeds essentially.
Yeah, 100%. And Rex saying that he can't just walk away. That for me obviously was important for me because we know in Rebels Rex walked away. So Rex isn't fighting the Empire in Rebels. He's gone away with the 2 clones, and they're living as a threesome in the old Clone Walker. So clearly Rex at some point is like, I cannot defeat the Empire. I am finished. And clearly I think we're probably going to get to that point at the end of this series, I would think, unless something different happens. But that for me was an interesting... Rex is so determined at this point to help his brothers. Obviously something's going to happen that snuffs out that hope.
And we may see it, we may not.
Yeah.
But
we need a series just called Rex, don't we? Like, just Rex. Like we've had Kenobi, or we need a Rex.
I just, every time someone says Rex, all I can think of is the dinosaur from Toy Story.
Buzz!
No, for sure. I really enjoyed these 2 episodes as a whole, just because I feel like we really did get a lot within the space of 40 minutes across the 2 20-minute episodes.
How the hell did the operative survive the waterfall fall as well? He like wakes up. That is like classic Hollywood, isn't it? At the end.
He's definitely got like one of those things. It's like a inflatable.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
so
the
like when
dinghy.
as he landed, pulled it. No, I know. I mean, these things have to happen.
I know it's great for the story. Don't get me wrong, but it is drama. But yeah, and then obviously the episode ends with Rex and Hunter having sort of a conversation about that the only way you're going to protect Omega is if you find out why she's so valuable. And because, again, you'd be thinking a lot of the time they just need to hide from the Empire, but they're kind of going on offense.
Yeah,
now,
this was the big swing, right? This was the...
Yeah, they're like, right, we need to make a stand. We've got to find out why they want her so then we can figure out what we can do going forward.
They were content hiding out on Pabu last season, and that would be the ideal place for them to all go and hang out and just hide from the Empire. And this was the big swing that is kind of we got to do something about this. Yeah, we can't just let it sit.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, this arc, the 45 minutes we've had, I feel like obviously we're just coming up to halfway into the series now, and we are truly like in this series. There's so much has happened, and there's so many answers we're still needing to get. And this is for me sort of the start of the end of now the series. With we're talking more about M counts, trying to find out why Omega is key. Clones, more clones finding out about the testing
And high
on
profile
Tantus. Yeah.
clones finding out about
Yeah,
stuff.
100%. I still wonder whether Cody's going to turn up at some point, because he went AWOL, didn't he, in season 2?
Yeah, and it's just kind of been
and
left.
nothing's been said, no
No.
mention of him. But wouldn't it be cool if we saw the yellow stripe armor? Like, that would just
Maybe
be
even do you know what I would
He-
take? I know we're not at that point in the series, and maybe something's going to happen between now and then. But even just in the finale, turning up to save the day, like
yeah.
so it's
Or
like
even just like
almost like a cameo.
Even just like a Batman Dark Knight Rises at the end with Alfred and
The nod.
and Bruce Wayne,
The nod.
just the nod. We
At
know
the cafe.
Cody's all
At the
right.
cafe.
Cody
the nod.
at a cafe on Pabu, just
Full armor. Full armor.
Yeah, full armor, incognito, full clone armor. Takes the helmet off and just gives it the old nod.
But no, I think really good arc.
Yeah.
Moving the series into an interesting position.
Yeah.
And obviously with it being the final series, we're expecting big things. And I feel like this is definitely walking us in the right area.
It is.
You guys let us know down below in the comments what you thought. Let us know all over socials what you thought.
Everywhere.
Um,
Send us letters.
Yeah.
Carrier
Take
pigeon.
it old school.
Yeah.
Take it old school. Telegram.
Yeah.
Telegram, whatever you want. Morse
Yeah.
code, semaphore.
Yeah.
We accept all of them. Let us know your thoughts. And yeah, let's wait and see what happens.
Absolutely
Over the
excited
next few
for
episodes.
excited for the next few episodes. So yeah, we'll be doing reviews obviously for every episode, as you guys know. So catch us, follow us everywhere. Follow us, just
Get the plug in.
everywhere. Yeah, well,
Get
I'm
the plug in.
trying. I'm
Plug
trying.
it,
I'm
plug
trying.
it hard. Plug it hard.
So-
Other than that, guys, we will see you all real soon in the next one.
May the force be with you all.